Thanks very much, Ursula. Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm between you and lunch, so we got to keep this enthusiastic or I'm going to be in serious trouble. Okay, first thing, picture of me. That's what a mustache looks like when you go to work on a motorbike. This is when you don't go to work on a motorbike. Okay. Just want to give you a little bit of background. We launched about 3.5 years ago. We're about 85, 90 customers now. Rob keeps signing them, so I have to keep counting. But we're everywhere. We just closed our first one in Asia. We got a couple in the US. We're in the UK, most in Ireland. But we're expanding out as quickly as we can. And I want to give you a bit of the philosophy we put into our product. Okay, so let's start with the length of time we've been doing this. How many of you would have come to an AI conference 5 years ago? That was exactly the right number of hands. It was a very, very, very lonely place. I've been doing this for 26 years, so it's really nice to be in a room with human beings instead of machines for a change. It's got very popular, but I'll tell you where we're coming from. So we started the company before this huge wave, if you'll pardon me doing a Kieran pun, before that really started. But we already knew there was massive value. Okay, so myself and my co-founder Tarek, we worked for a company that I worked there since '99. And all we did was AI. We're a $4 billion company. Okay, so huge companies were taking massive advantage of AI and nobody else knew about it. They were all targeting us like we could not believe, okay? And I'm just gonna, quick quiz. When do you think this image was taken? It's quite pixelated, so it definitely wasn't this year. That's 19 years old, that image. Okay, so 19 years ago, Amazon was doing hyper personalization across tens of millions of products for hundreds of millions of customers. And today, we're still struggling. Okay, now, the reason I put that up there is, first of all, they had to spend hundreds of millions to do this. So, I'd love to charge hundreds of millions, but we can't. Our job was to say, well, can't we take that and can't we make it available to absolutely everybody at a price that works for everybody, okay? So that's the job we set ourselves in Shopbox. Now, I'm gonna show you quick comparison. I put H&M on that side because you got to slag somebody off and they're not Irish, so we're going to slag off H&M today. You can put anybody that side. That's the bad news, okay? Over here we have Amazon. They're really the only people we can put on this side as global players right now. The vast majority of retailers, what they're doing with AI for hyper-personalization is not very good. Okay, so H&M. This image, I took this image about 4 months ago. And the reason I took it 4 months ago is because I've been tracking them now for 3.5 years, telling them that I'm a guy and I want a pair of shoes. That's all I've told them. I've told them nothing else because I don't buy off them online. Okay, so just go on, guy, pair of shoes every day for 3.5 years. And I thought, I wonder if they'll ever figure out I'm a guy with feet. That's all I wanted them to figure out. And really good. So after 3 years, they figured out I'm a guy, which isn't bad. 3 years to get to know somebody's a guy, that's not bad. They don't know I have feet, so that's fine. So from here up, they got it right. Okay, and I do like beaches. And then they said, well, look, if you're a guy with feet, we really recommend that you should buy a floral dress. Okay, that's seriously a real image from 4 months ago. Maybe they fixed it today, I don't really care. If that's the best we're doing 4 months ago, we have a problem. Now, the reason this is interesting to me is that it's very difficult. Most of us are working on very tight margins. We're working with very few people. We could all do it with more resources. These guys have all the resources they need to do what Amazon have done, but they haven't managed to do it. That's the real opportunity for every retailer, is to jump ahead of these guys, okay? Because they're always going to make it complicated. So let me take you through a couple of things. The reason we do this, we do it for many reasons. Passion is one of them, but the real reason we do it is for money, okay? So what Paul mentioned something earlier about attribution. Do any of you remember Spartacus, the movie? Yeah? What happened at Spartacus, the movie? Who got the sale? I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus, I'm Spartacus. Supposedly 15 people help you sell one product. Therefore, you made £1 million last year, but you didn't actually make £1 million. Everyone's claiming the sale. So we looked at this and we said, we don't believe in attribution the way it's done by Google and everybody else, because it's actually just trying to claim money. Okay? So what we look at is, if somebody looks at a product and interacts with the product for the first time on Shopbox, then we'll claim it. If they've looked at it before and then they use us, we don't claim it. Okay, so if they came in through Google Shopping feed and then they looked at it through Shopbox, that's Google, not us. Okay, but what we do, we've been analyzing customers who are at least 9 months on the platform and plotting them, and generally we're seeing between 7 and 12% of people will buy a product that they have first discovered on Shopbox. 7 to 12% of the revenue is driven by those sales. Okay, so that's the reason we do it. Okay, so here's the philosophy. I'm going to show you a couple of very quick videos to show you how it works. The guys at the back, Rob and Nessa, will show you a proper demo. And as I said to somebody earlier, they don't get paid unless they get demos. So, please do go and see it. Kieran's a much nicer person than me. Okay, so standard store, what's happening out there is Google, unfortunately, it's really good at what it does to the extent that they've taken over the shopping journey. They've actually taken what normally happens inside a store and made sure it happens out in Google. Okay, so what they're doing is they're allowing people to dip into our stores, buy one product and disappear as quickly as possible so they can sell that person to the next retailer, often with your data. Okay, not the best place to be. However, it's a very useful service to get people into the store. So we looked at it and said, we need to stop this thing of people bouncing in and out of stores. Let's let Google bring people into a place that's relevant. But from that second forward, we got to start building something in front of that customer in real time that brings them deeper into the store so that they discover more products and they spend more money inside our store and shop inside our store. Does that make sense? Okay? It's nice and simple. It's what we do in physical retail. And I think e-commerce is different from physical, but there's one thing that I think we've seen as we've moved into e-commerce. We've forgotten a lot of what happens in physical retail and we need to bring it back because it works really well in e-commerce if we can do it right. Okay, so I'm going to show you two things. The first one is the thing we call the AI Shop Assistant. Now, the reason we invented the AI Shop Assistant is when most people are at the very start of their shopping journey, they tend to spend a lot of time in listing and category and search results pages, okay? Because they want to get a broad view of you as a retailer. The problem you've got is how do you take 100, 300, 5,000 products and present those to a customer when you know nothing about them? Okay, it's this fundamental problem. We've been trying to solve this problem for 30 years. So we've decided to look at it quite differently. This is one of our larger customers in the UK. In fact, one of our larger customers, generally, Shoe. And I just do the video on these. Now, what's going to happen is this more like this button is basically allowing a customer to do what we should say shopping by example. I see a product I like, deep dive really quickly into the store. Now, the result of doing that is people spend about 5 times longer inside the store. And that's what I mean about adapting the store to the customer in real time. They're giving us small clues. It's up to us to take advantage of those. If we don't do this, we're forcing the customer to do all the work, and they're going to do it by hitting the back button and going out to Google, because it's an easier place for them to find products. Okay? So we've got to stop that. So the whole concept here is get in deeper, faster. It's not actually there to sell products, by the way, which surprises people when I say that. But what's the first thing you do when somebody walks into your store? Get them away from the door. That's the first thing you do. You don't get them to the till straight away. You just move them deeper in. Start making it about an experience and allowing them to enjoy shopping online instead of it being transactional. So that's one thing we do. I'm going to show you something else, and this is something we really love. Okay, so this is a pet store. What you're going to see here is how we can take a customer we've never seen before and start building a store that's just for them. Okay, so my philosophy from when we kind of came up with this forward is you no longer own your store. Your customer should own your store. Okay, there's 100 people in the room. There's 100 Amazon stores in the room. Everyone feels ownership of their Amazon store. Same for your stores. You manage it, they own it. That's my philosophy from this point forward. So what we'll see here is somebody's in Google Shopping. Sorry, they're in Google Shopping. They're going to click on this one product. So this is the first time we've ever seen this customer. They're going to click on a travel product for a dog. We go in, we end up in the PDP. That's all very good. From that single product view, I'm going to go up here, and we're going to click on the home page. Their home page is no longer generic. It is now showing me stuff that's to do with dogs traveling. Not just the product they've clicked on or similar products, but water, leads, whatever they need to allow you to put that dog into the car and bring them on holidays or wherever you want to bring them. So we've taken it from a single product view, and we started to build a store for this customer. From this point forward, this site will now adapt to this customer all the time. If they show us they also have a cat, there are people who have cats and dogs, it will blend those things together. Because dogs are good, so are cats. Okay, so the whole concept here is that your store should adapt to the customer and evolve with them. You manage it, but they own their space in it. Okay, if you find that really interesting, Rob and Nessa would love to take you through that in a bit more detail. And How are we doing on time? Have we got 5 minutes? Yeah? Okay. So I just want to give you a bit of what we do under the covers, okay? And I think it'll fit with, the reason I like to show this is, it's kind of comparing what happens online with what happens when you have a real human in front of a customer, and we're trying to emulate the real human in front of the customer, okay? So the way I look at what we do is, we're the shop assistant in the store. You shrink them and you stick them on the website, and everyone who comes is their own little shop assistant. That's the way I feel about what we should be doing. Okay, so here's the internet. You want a pair of black shoes? I got 1,000 pair of black shoes. Next week, I'll still have black shoes, and I'm gonna make sure that you buy black shoes come hell or high water, even if you never wanted black shoes. That's our experience on the internet today is, you click on one product, and if they're paying money to Google, my God, are you gonna see that product over and over again? And you're getting kind of sick of it. Okay, we were sick of it 10 years ago, we're still seeing the same behavior. We look at this differently. So what we do is, we start with the product, and we actually just break the whole thing down. There's a huge number more dimensions on here, but we use 4 just to explain the idea. And this is the way a shop assistant looks at you. Oh, you're looking at Solomon, and you're in the female section, and it's a walking boot, and it's black. Okay, so I know the color. I know you're looking for a lady's boot, and I know it's Solomon. I still don't know too much about you, but I know generally you want one product, okay? You look at a second product, you look at a Scarpa. First thing I'm thinking is, it doesn't have to be a Solomon. You're not focused on brand yet. Okay, so now I got more stuff I can show you. I can start to stretch you and give you ideas. I can help you now, okay? And as we go through this, we say, oh, you're looking at accessories as well. Well, hang on a second. Maybe you're not here to buy boots. Maybe you're going on a walking holiday. I have a choice. I can sell you something for 150 quid, or I can send you out the door with 500 quid's worth of stuff. Which is the right thing to do? Obviously, rhetorical question. As we go on, and we're seeing this all the time, I say to people in hardware, I love the hardware one. It's like nobody bought a ladder because they needed to get up higher. They bought a ladder because they need to hang something or they need to build something. Okay? They didn't buy a ladder because they desperately wanted a ladder. Never happened. So there is always a project behind a sale, and our job is to try and figure out that project like we did on the pet side and the pet store, and start to take them deeper. So as we go in, the real advantage here is we can take them from one product and start planting seeds for this sale and for the follow-on sale that are often much, much bigger. So we have stores that are over 35% higher order value coming when people are interacting with Shopbox. So it's a phenomenal difference. So what we see here is we now have 500 quid's worth of stuff we can sell somebody. So that's pretty much it. That's as much as I was going to cover. I hope that's helpful. And did I mention the guys are doing a demo at the back?